All right, thank you again, everybody, for being here. For those that are attending, we're happy to have you, and I want to thank Elizabeth Carpenter, the director of Westbrook Social Services, and her staff, Amber Shaw and Kelly Frazier, for being generous with their time and being with us today.
Okay, I think what I'd like to do is just welcome everybody, and maybe you could introduce yourselves. I don't know some of the faces, and so I could just call on you, and I'll start. I'll start with myself. I'm the Director of Social Services, and we've been looking into your community cares for a while, and have thought that it would be a good fit for a variety of reasons, which we'll get to. And so I'll go with you, Geraldine.
Good afternoon. My name is Geraldine, and I'm doing remote training with Michelle. And I train, my work thing is Mature Works, and that's it. And I make phone calls and try to get volunteers from different towns.
For your community cares or for Mature Works?
So Maturity Works is a federal program that allows us to have trainees, as they call them, that are over the age of 55, that can help with nonprofit organizations, so that it's paid through a federal program, but they're working with your community cares in a variety of ways. So a lot of the people that you're going to be hearing from today are part of Maturity Works.
Oh, great. Okay, very good. All right, great. Thanks. Welcome. Janice?
I also work for Michelle, and I work many tasks, and I work many tasks.
All kinds of stuff. Yep. She is so once the people are enrolled on our website, she runs all the background checks for people. She helps us with our insurance, our donations, all kinds of stuff she tracks for us.
Great. Okay. So you're the Girl Friday kind of.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Welcome. Queen?
Good afternoon. My name is Queen Nelson. I work for Michelle Puzo. I come from Maturity Work. I do the same thing that Geraldine do.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And Tina?
Hi, I'm Tina Prince. I work with Michelle also, and I do outreach. I assist her with a variety of projects, such as Lunch and Learns like today, although I didn't participate in the planning of this one, but we do a lot of that, and really concentrating on outreach and maintaining relationships for the organization.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Amber?
Hello, I'm Amber. I work as the assistant director in the Westbrook Senior Center, and also, of course, with Elizabeth in Social Services. I'm her assistant up there as well. And I hope we get some volunteers to log on so we could start coordinating. I'm very excited to start this program in our town.
Great. Thank you. Miles? Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
How are you? My name's Zach. My son's name is Miles. So he has a Zoom account last, I guess.
Okay.
But I'm a teacher at Oxford Academy in Westbrook.
Oh.
I'm the dean of faculty here, and we're always interested in potential, community service options and ways to get our boys here at the school more involved in the local community. So that's one of the reasons I'm here.
Great. Great. Thank you. Preston?
Yeah, hi. I work with Michelle and all the other folks at Your Community Cares, and I've been doing this since March and enjoying it very much. We're focusing my work on grant tracking and administration, and helping Michelle manage some of the rollout project planning. And so I work pretty closely with Michelle on all of that.
Great. Okay, good. Okay. And Michelle,
Yes, I am Michelle Puzo, the president and co-founder of Your Community Cares and now the executive director. And I did see and I'm so happy everyone is here to join us today. I did see one more person just joining us. So there's another Michelle that
right, we've got Michelle Santori.
If you want to introduce yourself, Michelle Santori, if you have a chance to unmute yourself, that would be great. And if you can't, that's okay.
Thanks, Michelle. So I'm Michelle Santori. I'm the brand new director here at the Westbrook Public Library. And I'm actually new to town. I'm new to my position. So I'm here to learn more about how we can help.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. And then Leslie, I see that you've joined if you want to unmute yourself. Leslie, are you there?
She might not have access to a microphone.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, if it happens that you can get back on later, then that's and speak with us, that'd be great.
Great. Yeah, so today we'll go over an overview of Your Community Cares, our history, the program that we're starting in Westbrook, a demo of the website so you can better understand how we plan to help the Westbrook community. We'll be reviewing the chat box, so make sure you put any questions in the chat box, your contact information, so we can follow up and make sure that we answer all the questions. And we look forward to a question and answer towards the end, but feel free to, stop me if you have any questions along the way. So Elizabeth, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about Westbrook Social Services and what you guys are up to? Your programming and stuff like that?
Elizabeth, you're on mute.
Of course I am. I always do that. So I wanted to just start with, if you're not aware of it or haven't seen it maybe on our website, what our mission statement is. It's our mission at Westbrook Social Services is to develop and maintain a coordinated system of social services for the residents of Westbrook. And our staff provides advocacy, information, referral, and support services to citizens. So the programs that we typically work with are based on income eligibility. And in addition to all of the regular state and federal programs, for instance, SNAP and those kinds of things. At this time of year, the predominant program we're working with is heating assistance. And I don't know, what you know about statistics in the town, but we are at about 34% of our population is the ALICE population, which is people that are asset limited, income constrained, but they're employed. So in other words, two people in the household might be working part-time jobs that are minimum wage. So they're working, but they're just still not making it. In addition to that, we work with the Salvation Army to assist with a variety of things in a variety of ways. And we've recently gotten a couple of grants from the Westbrook Foundation we're really excited about. We have a grant for hearing aids for older adults and people that are income eligible and their insurance doesn't cover it. We're helping with those. So we've seen we did it last year as a project and they agreed to do it with us again this year. So it's been really helpful because it makes such a big difference for quality of life for our older adults. And then the other program we're working with is a grant for medical transportation. We have folks that are physically unable to use 9-Town Transit or Dial-A-Ride or any of those kinds of things that are typical because of their medical conditions. And so we have some funds that are able to help people get back and forth to doctor's visits or the hospital or whatever. And once again, as I said, there's qualifications, but we're trying to reach out and help as many people as we can. We also have Arpa Funds, if anybody's familiar with the terminology, American Rescue Plan Act is what it is, money from the government for COVID-related things, people who are affected by COVID. We have money to help with electricity. We have money to help with rent, mortgage, utilities. If we have medical copays that people, for whatever reason, are on programs and can't afford it, they might be just a little bit above the threshold for state help. And then we're helping with in-home healthcare if people are in that same situation, food, and if people are needing to get to work and can't afford to do it because they need auto repair or gas. Those are some of the other categories. So those are all in addition to our regular state and federal programs that we work with. So that's kind of what we're up to at the moment. Those are our current programs. And I think I'm going to pass it to Amber to tell you why we chose to partner with Your Community Cares.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth.
Sure.
So as everybody knows what's going on with the world today with the pandemic and inflation, it's creating a greater financial need in a lot of communities. And of course, ours is one of those, and we're seeing that. We have a large older adult and disabled population, and they are particularly hard hit. They have needs that they can't find help for without paying large sums of money. They're often unable to do so because of being on a fixed income. And with this current increase in financial need, even if we help residents with subsidies or grants, some still aren't able to afford to get their needs met. With this new partnership with Your Community Cares, we're hoping that these needs will be addressed and make our older or disabled neighbors' quality of life just that much better. We are excited to add Westbrook Community Cares to our spectrum of services to support our residents because none of our other regular programs provide what this one can. This program is a way for the community to get out, volunteer, and help a neighbor. And we invited a lot of you here today because we're hoping you will help spread the word to get as many volunteers on board as possible. If you have ideas you would like to share with us on volunteering or volunteer groups, you could contact us. I'll put our contact info in the chat. And we just want to also comment that we know Westbrook is a very small and caring community, and this program will give everyone an opportunity to share their kindness and goodwill.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Elizabeth. Those are great overview of all of your services and the reason why you wanted to create this program in Westbrook. So some of you are probably wondering, how did Your Community Cares get started? Well, you know, what is Your Community Cares? So I was a physical therapist for over 20 years. We won't say how many years, but when I was going into people's homes and I was treating them for physical therapy, they had so many more needs that you know, they didn't have local family support. People had moved away or passed away, and they're living into their 90s and 100s. It's really fascinating to see when you go into people's homes as a physical therapist, how people are living, and you hear about their needs. You know, they're asking you, there's no more yellow pages, so they're asking you where all the resources lie. Using me as an information guide. You know, I was a social worker. I was bringing out the laundry. I was taking out the trash. And I realized if these people had a way to connect to their local neighbors, that maybe people would be able to help them in their time of need. If they're coming home from a knee replacement or heart surgery, whatever it might be, and they just need a little extra help. So that's where the idea started. So in 2019, my grandmother, who was 99, she passed away. And she had macular degeneration, she had dementia, you know, so personally and professionally, I decided it was time to do something. And so I started a secure website for seniors and physically disabled residents to be connected to services. So today we'll kind of go over what is our technology, what is our website all about, what kind of services are out there, what volunteers can do, who's eligible, and all that kind of stuff. We'll kind of go over everything. So the website is yourcommunitycares.org, and I'll bring that up in just a few minutes. But I think as Amber and Elizabeth have talked about, the need for equity and inclusion in all communities is so important. There's a very vulnerable population of people that need help, and Your Community Cares basically connects local residents to help one another. In 2019, when we first started, The website only allowed for individuals to connect with one another. And now we've built out to have partners so that people that don't have computers, people that don't have smartphones, they might be illiterate, they don't have the internet, they can still be included by having a partner account. It allows an administrator to run people's accounts for them. And that's really important now that the word is getting out about that. We have so many people that are able to call us and we can sign them up. Westbrook Social Services has created an account. So anyone in Westbrook that doesn't have access to the internet, doesn't have that technology, they can contact the Westbrook team and they can sign them up. Otherwise, they could have a family or a friend, someone on their behalf, sign them up as an individual. So we'll go over all those sign up avenues in just a few minutes. But our technology, people wonder about our technology. It is HIPAA compliant. For our email system, we have firewalls, you know, the highest level of security you can have on our website. And that's been really important to us because we do background checks on everybody. So we do collect some personal information, and that's really important to protect. So we have a very secure website for that. When people are in need, you know, and they can't pay for private caregivers, what volunteers can help with is companionship. So they can be a friendly visitor, they could drop off food from the food pantry, they could fill out forms for them, read them their mail. We have a lot of low vision and blind individuals that we're helping. Volunteers can help with housework, meaning some cleaning around the house, organizing, you know, decorating, could be anything around the house. It could be anything related to yard work, shoveling, raking, doing some, you know, weeding, things like that. Transportation. It could be to medical appointments, or it could be, you know, somebody wants to get a manicure or pedicure or get their hair done, whatever it might be, some errands around town, pet care. You know, somebody needs to take their pet in and out, but they're recovering from a surgery and it's not very easy to walk the dog. And respite care for caregivers, so that if caregivers need a little bit of rest time, that's also an option. So the only things that it doesn't include is personal care or licensed work. And that's important to note because these are not electricians, you know, there's not any licensed work happening. It's things that you or I could do around the house. So the people that qualify right now, the people that we're serving, we call the community members, and they're either over the age of 70 or 18 and older with a physical disability. And that's a temporary disability or a permanent physical disability. And a temporary, you know, an example of that would be after a pregnancy, a C-section, or a fracture of some sort, or COVID, you know, a temporary thing that they're going to be recovering from, or a permanent after, you know, somebody has had severe arthritis, diabetes, stroke. So once that person decides that your community cares would be a good fit for them, they would go to our website and sign up. So let me switch over to our, let me share my screen and go over to the website so I can show you. If you haven't already been to the website, it's yourcommunitycares.org. And UR stands for you are your community. I mean, that's really, we decided to do it shorthand and, you know, texting style of the UR, but it's really that you make up your community, you are your community. And that's what we're trying to do is connect communities together in a positive way. So people can come together and make a positive impact on their neighbors. Versus sometimes what you see in the news right now, it's not very positive. We're really trying to make a positive impact in communities all across Connecticut. So we talked about the community member. That person has to be 70 or over the age of 18 with a physical disability. To be a volunteer, you have to be over the age of 15. So 15 to 17-year-olds have parental consent and supervision. And then anyone over the age of 18 goes through the background check. All of the community members go through a background check. We want to make sure it's as safe as possible. Just because you're of a certain age, you know, that doesn't mean, you know, that you're, safe. So we want to make sure it's safe on both sides. So that's be a volunteer, be a community member, be a partner. This is where you can, again, you can decide if your organization, your school wants to sign up to be a partner. So you could be a community member partner like Westbrook Social Services. You could be enrolling people that need the help, or you can be a volunteer partner, which is where volunteers can go and volunteer together. So that could be a high school classroom, that could be a group of businesses, that want to bring their employees and volunteer together. Church groups, they can volunteer together and go together. So that's where people would be enrolled all together. Otherwise, people would go to click the sign up button at the top of the page if they wanted to enroll themselves individually. The updates tab on our website goes over a lot of just updates that are going on in the organization, gives you more information about the organization, and you can print off things. There's blogs, there's all kinds of different more information on our updates page. And then anyone that's interested in being a donor, be a donor page. And then our help page goes over a lot of frequently asked questions. So we do serve the whole state of Connecticut. So on the About Us page, we have put, information about the organization, where we've received some of our funding. And then towards the bottom of the page, talks about the towns that we're focusing on. So these are the towns that we currently have funding in, that we are enrolling individuals. Because so many people are asking for help, we need more funding to be able to run all the background checks, have the insurance, keep updating the website, making sure all of this, there's a cost to all of this to the organization. So to limit things right now, and also we were all volunteers, except for now we have a bunch of Maturity Works trainees that are helping us, and that's been fantastic. And we're grateful for all their support. It does take a lot of efforts to roll these out in different towns and make sure that they're successful, and we get volunteers to sign up, and that's critical to get that volunteer support. Let me just stop for a second. Does anyone have any questions on the website before we continue?
Okay. Thank you for also the late coming in today. My question, when you were on the page about volunteers, about the 15 to 17-year-olds, and it said visit supervision, so parent consent plus visit supervision, does that mean the parent would need to be in place at the volunteer site?
So being 15 to 17, they can't drive. So when the parent is dropping them off, they can go in and, just make sure that they're introduced, that the person feels comfortable. They could sit outside. It's up to the parent in that volunteer to decide if they want to go in and actually volunteer together. Are they going to do yard work together, or is that person going to be, just kind of outside? It's up to the volunteer.
Okay, great. Clarification on that.
What's that? I'm sorry. Elizabeth, could you hear what she said?
No, Leslie, you're cutting in and out for some reason.
I think we might have lost her audio. But yeah, it's up to we connect people. This is our guidance, is to do that. And then it's up to the parent who gives that parental consent and signs that form of how they want to be involved and how comfortable the volunteer feels. Sometimes they go together, a lot of times.
Hey, Michelle, I have a question that might overlap with what Leslie was asking. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, I'm in a school as well, and Oxford's a boarding school, so the parents are not around. So if we're bringing a group of 2 students or 3 students to a place to help, as the teacher, you know, does that, you know, do we have that kind of in loco parentis sort of power to supervise the situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So in
Okay.
all of the partner accounts, you'd have the administrator. So you'd have like the person who's running this. So the idea is that you'd have a teacher going out, you would have some supervisor going out to watch over the folks that are going out in a group. Yep. So
Okay.
that would be any of you.
Thank you.
Yep. Good question. Okay.
Can I just ask a question real quick? So it say the Oxford Academy wanted to be it was just on the screen.
A partner.
A partner. So would we sign them up as a partner under our account?
No, they would just go to our website and they would sign themselves up as a volunteer partner.
Okay.
You are only enrolling people that are older adults or anyone over the age of 18 that doesn't have access to the internet.
Okay. Thank
Yep.
you.
Everybody else is on their own. You can only regulate so many people. So I just wanted to share this team is also the Maturity Works team is helping in so many ways. And so one of the things we just put together was this short presentation that I'd like you to watch.
Your Community Cares thanks all the amazing organizations that have helped us with funding support, as well as our participants that have allowed us to grow across Connecticut. Your Community Cares launched in 2019, and we are now in year 3 of our efforts. Manchester is home of our headquarters, and we received our first grant funding from Cruisin' on Main Street in Manchester. While the pandemic caused us to adjust our strategy, it did not prevent us from doing all we could during difficult times. We are so grateful for the funding from South Windsor J.C.'s, Fairfield County Community Foundation, Farmington Bank Community Foundation, Walmart, and the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, who have allowed us to help many people in need. The town of Manchester, the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, the town of Bolton, and the Connecticut Community Foundation were early funding supporters and have continued working closely with us. As the pandemic eased, we continued to support our funded towns in 2021 on our journey to help older and disabled adults. The unrestricted funding from Arnell Charitable Foundation provided vital funding for our efforts in 2021 and allowed us to grow in towns for which we previously had no funding. We have learned over the past 3 years that it is critical for us to work with healthcare providers, faith organizations, businesses, town departments, and emergency services in each community. In Clinton, we launched the Clinton Community Assistance Team. It brings together the Clinton Police and Human Services, Rotary Club of Clinton, Family Helping Families, and People's Bank to connect volunteers to those in need. Similar programs can cascade across the state. The Cheshire Senior Center and Main Street Community Foundation provided funding that allowed us to grow in Cheshire and Southington. We expanded into Middlesex County in 2022 with funding from the Community Foundation of Middlesex County. Earlier this year, we have extended support through funding from the Valley Community Foundation. The Town of Guilford, Northwest Connecticut Community Foundation, and Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut have allowed us to provide support in dozens of towns, and we are excited to have extended our efforts throughout Connecticut. Funding from the Town of Willington, Ion Bank Foundation, Community Chest of New Britain and Berlin, and the Town of Westbrook have enabled us to support much larger portions of our state, and private donations from Durham have enabled us to continue to expand across Connecticut. We are working on renewing our efforts with our existing funding partners as we take note of key milestones. As of September 2022, we have participants in over 135 Connecticut towns, over 1,200 background check participants, over 1,400 community deeds, and saved community members thousands of dollars through free volunteer services. Please take a few minutes to visit our website at yourcommunitycares.org to learn more about how you can become an individual donor, a business sponsor, or a participant. We would love to hear from you, whether you have questions about our organization or if you would like to join us in our mission. Please contact Michelle Puzo, President, at 860-430-4557 or email her at info@yourcommunitycares.org. Thank you.
So I just wanted to give you guys that overview. Sorry, I went into another video. That overview of how we're really trying to. Sorry, I can't get out of this video. How we're trying to expand across the state and try to help more and more communities connect their residents. And we're hoping that some of you that are on the call today will be able to tell one other person, being able to share this information with coworkers, friends. We do have a flyer that you're able to post, share, that talks about the program, goes over the services specific, and these are not set in stone. There are other things that we haven't listed every single thing that people could do. The idea is when the request goes out, when the community member schedules that request, say they need some washing the windows, something like that, they put a request out to the volunteers in their town, and it goes by automatic email. So the email notification goes out to the volunteers go into their account and they can accept it if they're available. And then they are able to see exactly what the person is requesting to decide if that's something that they're interested in and available for. So I can send anybody that would like this flyer, I'll send it on after the call today. Also can share, if you could subscribe or like our social media, also the Westbrook Social Services, trying to get the word out to the residents of Westbrook that we're really pushing for volunteers to make sure that this is a successful program for the Westbrook Social Services. Did anyone have any questions on the YouTube video or anything else? I haven't been checking the chat box. I don't know if Elizabeth did, if you have it all. Any other questions that I can answer for anybody?
Here we go. No, there's nothing else in the chat box. Amber answered a question about our email address and phone number for the folks to be able to get a hold of us for suggesting volunteers or groups or organizations or anything that might come to your mind to help us spread the word.
Yeah, we have some marketing materials, so if anybody is interested in those, please. I think everybody that's on the call, we will get that out to you. And if you have any other ideas or suggestions, if you're having an event or, or we can be a vendor at a table where we could have a presence, that would be great. We'd love to be there. So thank you, everybody, for being with us today. And if there's no other questions, Elizabeth, can you think of anything else?
No, I think you've covered it well and very thoroughly. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much from Westbrook High School. So I was unmuted and uncameraed while I was eating my lunch.
Well, thanks for being
It's
here.
very informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We hope to get some of the students involved. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.